Who are you? When you play a video game, you interact with a virtual space. The first question a game seeks to answer regards who is doing the interaction. The immediate answer is you. However, you do not exist in virtual space. To cross this barrier, the player acts through a character. The character becomes a surrogate of the player's mind and body. The player immerses themselves in the character. We seek the same feeling from a psychologically immersive experience that we do from a plunge in the ocean or swimming pool, the sensation of being surrounded by a completely other reality. In a participatory medium, immersion implies learning to swim, to do the things that the new environment makes possible. Linking the player and the character requires the player to pretend. The player subdues their true identity in the physical realm to experience the journey of the game. They become responsible for the character's actions. In return, the character experiences the journey of the game through control by the player. We come to understand the character in different ways depending on the game. A platformer acquaints the player with their character by the feel of their movement. A sandbox game acquaints the player with the systems they must manage. Perhaps the most striking relationship is with role-playing games. These games acquaint the player with their character through signifiers to control their mind and speech.
Look at that. Maybe them bullets done your brain some good.
When a player is immersed in their character, they are not just empathizing with them, but enacting the character. The player develops double consciousness. This term is used to describe the simultaneous awareness that people experience when inhabiting a fictional role. The actor holds a dual awareness of their true nature and the responsibilities they must perform as the character.
In about an hour, you'll leave here different.
Similarly, the player pretends to be the character and develops double consciousness. They simultaneously observe the actions on the screen and exist as the character on the screen.
On April 4th, 1999, I arrived home from school. I had just graduated.
While double consciousness is an experience for actors, an audience may not share this psychological relationship. As Walter Benjamin notes, this permits the audience to take the position of a critic without experiencing any personal contact with the actor. The audience's identification with the actor is really an identification with the camera.
Yeah, that's amazing.
In this perspective, films are a particularly effective medium for critiquing the actions of others. We are psychologically separated from the responsibilities they endure. We, as bystanders of their story, lack double consciousness.
Not usually like this.
Hey, don't worry.
However, if a film wants to converse with the actions of the audience, an immediate dialogue becomes quite difficult.
Why do you keep saying that?
This difficulty is best understood by contrasting the meanings of first-person perspective in films versus games. In both mediums, we inhabit a body that is not ours. However, in film, we do not control that body. We are forced into an experience dictated by the narrative. In games, by contrast, we enter a body that, although not physically ours, is controllable. One experience signifies a loss of agency, while the other bestows the power to shape outcomes. Because actors with double consciousness simultaneously embody both player and character, these two beings have a shared present. Their roles intersect in real time. Their shared journey can only be progressed through cooperation, and the player is invested in the screen as a nexus of possible decisions and possible outcomes, meaning that they are oriented toward the future. Players consider different choices and their outcomes in the virtual realm with emotional weight because they, as their character, will feel the consequences of whatever they choose. Because of this, the player is conditioned to take responsibility for the character's actions. In other words, when comparing identification in film and identification in games, with great power comes great responsibility. If players are conditioned to take responsibility for their character's actions, then the character exists as a collection of the player's moral impulses. The player and character exist in a moral relation to each other. Therefore, when the game replies to these actions by critiquing the character, it critiques the player by proxy. Who are you? Whoever you pretend to be.